What's going on, everybody? It is Friday in the classroom, and this is a week in the life of a teacher. So, what's been going on this week? I'm back in the classroom. That's nice. Past couple weeks I've been out because of things like snow days and cold days and whatnot. Don't mind me, I'm just gonna peel this orange. Gotta get in my vitamin C, you know? Anyway, so this week has been all about one thing: community building. So when you teach kindergarten, you're really training people how to do school. You have to teach them skills and things that they're gonna need moving forward. So periodically I have to sort of assess behaviors and assessing student engagement, interactions with one another, and I have to pivot. And I have to sort of recalibrate the lens of the classroom and refocus. And so this week was all about community building and relationship building between the students and between me and the students, and certain students in particular. These are really good, these little ones. And I did a teaching tip video this Tuesday. I know, I actually got to do one, got to it. Where I talked about building relationships with students and how that is like the most important part of teaching. I'll link it up. And I talked about why nothing else matters if you don't have a good relationship with your students. And so that's what I was doing this week as far as the non-academics were concerned. How did you do it, Kyle? Okay, here's how I did it, concerned viewer. I tweaked my schedule a little bit, and I made some changes, made some tweaks, and I hung out with them. I hung out with my students. Let me explain. Basically what I did was the first thing we do when we get to school every day is eat breakfast. And after breakfast, I normally in the morning would do like a morning center time where they got to choose their center, Legos, iPads, art, whatever. And what I did was, after breakfast, we start center time right away. We don't get into working, because this gives the kids a chance to get here, talk to their friends. The kids that are late, they're not missing anything. We come in, eat breakfast, and then they pick a center. And it just takes a lot of stress off the morning, where it's like, before it was like, oh man, we gotta get started, we gotta get going. All right, everybody sit down, be quiet, it's time to work. And now we come in, and we got about 20 minutes, we eat our breakfast, and then for about 20-25 minutes, the students are choosing a center. Now most of the centers are academic based, so they're learning while that's going on, but that doesn't really matter that much. What matters is that they're interacting with one another, and I get a chance to interact with them. I get to sit down with them. Hey man, what you drawing today? Or hey, what are you building with the Legos there? And it gives me a chance to just connect. And by just hanging out with them and spending quality time with them and asking them stuff and just spending that non-academic time with my students this week, I feel like I've made a breakthrough with a couple of the students that I was having issues with. Kinda nice. As for the academics, I really started hard in on guided reading this week. And so that's what I really want to focus this video on, is how to do guided reading. I think there's just like a lot of like stress about guided reading. I feel like a lot of teachers are scared of it, not sure exactly what to do, or just kind of dismiss it because it's like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. Are you kidding me? What do you mean? I don't know how to do that. You know, a lot of teachers get used to teaching whole group instruction. Everybody, you know, whole group instruction, everybody gets the same lesson, but some of the higher kids get a little bit harder, some of the lower kids get a little bit easier. Okay, so actually I'm gonna get started while my coffee's brewing. I gotta get out of here before the janitor gets here. Okay, so when I say guided reading, what do I mean? All right, when I say guided reading, what I mean is, I am teaching a small group of kids how to read and write. And so what does that mean? Why? So in my opinion, there's no more effective way to teach and to really understand, my goodness, and to really understand what a child knows than when you put them in a small group with 3 or 4 other kids and you sit them down in front of you and you work like that in small group. There's things that I was able to glean this week from my students that shocked me. Things that they could do, things that they couldn't do. Because when you're teaching a whole group, you miss so much, especially when you're dealing with behavior issues or you have other things to worry about. you don't know who's copying off of who. It's simply not the most effective way to truly understand what a student knows. So I try to, as the year progresses, move most of my core instruction to small group. So here's a little diagram. See this dirty old whiteboard? This whiteboard's older than my kids, so it's a little dirty. Here we go. This sun, is that sun? Yeah, I figured, whatever. Okay, so guided reading. So basically, in my opinion, there are three core parts of guided reading. You have the lesson. You have what the other kids are doing. So you got the lesson, you got what the other kids, you can't even see that. That's not, can you even, there, lesson, what the other kids are doing, and then finally, the transitioning. So I spelled that wrong. So, you know, I teach kindergarten, so I spell phonetically. Anyway, there's three parts of the guided reading lesson. So you have what you're doing in front of you, which is the most important part. A lot of teachers, I think, get caught up too much on what are the other kids supposed to be doing while I'm teaching it. That matters, it does. But, all right, coffee pot, hurry up now, you're being loud, obnoxious. But, the most important part of your instruction is right here at this table, at this little kidney bean table that you have. It's what you're doing with the 4 or 5 kids in front of you. And please, no more than 5. 6 is too many. 4, then it's not small group no more. So 4 or 5 is my recommendation. It's worked for me. What you're doing right here matters most. What I do is, every day, we start with some sort of do now. I looked over there because we start some sort of do now, which they'll come to their seat, they'll come here and sit down, and I'll have a couple of sight words on my whiteboard that are found in the story that they're gonna read, and I ask them to write each word 3 times each. If it's day 2, like if they've read a book yesterday, I'll have them start with a warm read of the book that they read yesterday. So they've already read it, so they're gonna read it again, and then they start with a book that they've already read, and then they record the red words or sight words that they're gonna read in their new story. And while I have them doing that, because it's important to get them busy, I'll make a pass around the room and check in on the other kids, make sure everybody's settled in and doing what they should do. More on that in a minute. After the lesson gets started, I'll come back here, I'll set my timer for 10 minutes. And it'll expand as the year gets on, but right now we're working with 10 minutes. After the do now, after we're done recording the words, we'll review those words quick. And then I will have them, we don't cold read the books yet. I don't have them just go try it. What I'll do is we'll do a quick picture walk. I'll walk them through the story, and we'll look at the red words that we just found, the sight words that we just found, and then we'll sort of do a guided reading of that story. And the books that I have, the series that I have, it's this, they're called Treasures. I don't know, it's what our district got. But I had to go and label them guided reading levels because they weren't labeled that way, so I had to go do that myself. But we'll do we'll do a guided reading with it. We'll go through and we'll look at all the words together. And in the back, there's always a writing prompt. Draw a picture of another animal that needs water. Write a sentence about your picture. And then we do that part together. And most likely we'll start that, and then I'll have them finish that, what we started, at their next rotation, at their next center. That way they can finish up and they can use crayons, because we only have pencils here at this table. And so that's a guided reading lesson for me. And what I can also do is I can adapt it. Most of the time in a given 5-day week, I will do 2 days, 3 days at minimum of just straight reading and then writing about reading. But every once in a while, we'll do something completely different. We'll do some CVC spelling, and then maybe we'll draw a picture and label it together. Something a bit more fun for them. They like the reading though, they like to see the progression, but just to kind of switch it up from time to time. But the basic structure will remain. There's always gotta be a do now. You gotta get your kids started with something. You don't wanna have them sitting here with nothing to do while you go figure out what's going on with the other kids, because then they're gonna sit here and they're gonna be talking off task. So get them started. It's most important to get your small group guided reading group started first. Okay, so second part, other kids, what are they doing? Other kids have to be busy. Now, this is where I think a lot of teachers get hung up in. You cannot have your kids do anything that's gonna require your help. It has to be 100% independent. It can't be at your kid's instructional level, because if they can't come up to you and ask questions, it has to be something that they can do it on their own. Does that mean that it can't be rigorous? No. But again, what's the most important part? It is there, right there, most important part. So if you have your students doing something that might be just a little bit lower, that's okay, because if they're busy and they're working, that's the most important part, because you're going to see them in a small group anyway. It should be something that's meaningful. For example, right now I've got some things that my students can do on their own. Let me show you. We've got some spelling words right here. It's just pictures, and all they have to do is spell it. Now here's how it's differentiated. Some kids can just put the beginning sound. Some kids can get all three sounds. It just depends on the kid. That's something that they don't need my help for, because they can look at the picture and see what it is. And if they don't know, they can ask a neighbor. Another thing I do is letter tracing. This one is for my students that are on lower end. They can just trace the letters. You don't need help for that. And the thing is, it's only gonna be, it has to be 10 minutes. It's something that they can do, and it's something that they don't need my help with. If you give students stuff that's too hard, you're gonna run into two things. You're gonna run into them constantly needing your help, and you have to get up and rush over to help them, or they're gonna zone out and not do it. If it's too easy, or it doesn't, you know, then you have that same, sort of the same issue with zoning out. So you have to find the magic thing. Okay, so I have got one group one group that's doing their work at their table, and that's what these are for. These are my mission boxes and mission folders. The mission folders, I will show you. Let me show you this kid right here. Basically the mission folder is like this. This side is stuff I want them to do. This side is stuff that's done. Note the sticker. I will collect this at the end of the week and grade it and look at it. This is stuff that I want them to do. This book is the book that we already read. He can spend his time reading that book if he wants. I give them options in there, and I always include, here's the kicker. Here's the kicker, guys. Always include a white blank piece of paper. But why, Kyle? Okay, here's why. Because when they finish their work, they can just draw something. There's always that option. Okay, you got all your work done? Draw a picture. Like, it's gonna be 10 minutes, so most likely they won't even get to that. But you always gotta have a plan B, just in case, to keep them busy. Okay, so, you see here, I've got 4 tables. Boom, shabam, 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 right? Okay, let me just put you down a hot second. Okay, my tables are fluidly designed to have students in that group that are the same level in reading and math, roughly. I say fluidly because you don't stay at the same, if you're at the red table, you don't stay at the red table all year. It's based on your performance, what you show me. We move all the time. So you see it back behind me, I've got 4 tables, that's 4 groups. I don't do 4 guided reading lessons a day, I do 3. The exception is one of the groups, and it rotates each day, stays on the computers for the duration of the 30 to 40 minute period. The reason why is because it's really tricky to rotate kids off computers. It's noisy and it causes a commotion. So I keep whoever's gonna be on computers, they stay on computers for the 30 to 40 minutes. Not too long, it's fine. So then I'm only rotating 3 groups. I already showed you what one group is doing. They're doing their mission folders. The other 2 groups, let me show you. I'll have one group at mission folders at their table. One group will obviously do with me. One group is at computers, and then I've got the tablets. I've got tablets, my iPads are spread out, 1, 2, there's one right there, 3, and then there's one on the carpet, and then there's usually one on the floor with the beanbag. And the students are playing an app called ABC Mouse. It's a website, it's free, sign up for it if you haven't already, it's really good, and that's what they're doing. If they don't want to do that, there's another game, a CVC game. But Mr. Thain, but Kyle, won't kids just goof around on the tablets? No, here's why. Let me show you. Here's what you're gonna do, okay? If you have an iPad, let me show you a little trick. This iPad's dead. Okay, let me show you this trick. You ready for this? Blow your mind right here. Bet you never thought of this before. Okay. On this page, I have the only 3 apps that I want them to do. Got Reading A to Z. I've got Minecraft Pocket Edition. It's the light version, it's free. And the ABC Mouse. These are the 3 things that they're allowed to do. They can do these things. Every other app is in a folder on another page, promptly labeled no. So if they go to another app, they had to get off the other app and go into a folder that's labeled no, and then go on the incorrect app. So you're gonna be in trouble. They know they're not supposed to do that. And, you know, I'm a teacher, so I can see the app history. Let's see what they've been doing over here. Did anybody Did anybody go on a no app? Let's see. ABC Mouse, Minecraft, Safari browser. Somebody went on the internet. ESPN.com. Okay, anyway, so I gotta talk to this kid. But regardless, that's one workaround. Another workaround is you got the guided assistance function on the iPads. You can basically go into settings and you can lock the iPad into one app. They can't get out of it. They can't even turn up or down. They can't even turn up or down the sound. Here's how you do it. Settings. General. You can't see this. Then you go into accessibility and you scroll all the way down and you press it on. It's called, I know you can't, I'm sorry, you guys, I can't. Then you go ahead and you press guided access. At that time, you turn it on. What it does is, if you're in an app, let me show you, let me blow your mind. You're on, say you're on the old Minecraft, right? Triple tap the home button, 1, 2, 3. Guided access started. Now watch, you can't click out of the app. You can't even rotate the screen. You're stuck here. You're stuck here, kids. You're playing Minecraft. You're doing what you're supposed to. No, you can't go to the camera. No, you can't take pictures of other kids. You're stuck on Minecraft because Mr. Thain is a genius. So there's that. That's how you can navigate your iPads if you want to. And to stop it, you triple click it again and you input your desired passcode that the kids don't know. Okay. That's what I'm doing. And what I'll do is I'll start with the kids with me, group on the iPads, group at their mission folders, and then we'll rotate. What I'll do is I'll say, okay, kids with me, go to your mission folders, because I'll hand them what they didn't finish. You can finish this and then do your mission folder. I will go tap the kids on tablets. Come, log out, come to my table. Log out, come to my table. Log out, come to my table, and they'll come to my table. The kids who are already at their folders, their mission folders, I will send them to tablets. See how that works? That's one rotation. And I'll do the same thing again, a second rotation, and then we're done. So I'm minimalizing the movement, and students are engaged the whole time. There's no downtime. And then when we're all done, I'll bring everybody back, and we'll review. And this is what I do. I do table points in my classroom. And my table points could be for anything. I just make up stuff, and I make up point values. It doesn't matter. We will review how it went. So I'll go table by table. I'll say, all right, Hulk team, green team, during guided reading, here's what I saw. I saw you guys doing your work. I saw you guys working together, banding together as one to achieve a common goal. Plus 10 points. Almost like in Harry Potter when Dumbledore was giving out random points for stuff. That's basically what I do. And I do it for my kids. And I'll say, all right, yellow team, I love how you got your work done, plus 5. But you are a little bit too noisy, so I'm not going to give you your full 10 this time. Next time, work on being quiet. We review, and then we're done. I do the same thing for math, and I just call it guided math. Same exact stuff, I'm just teaching math instead of reading. So that's it. If you have any questions about it, please feel free to ask. Sometimes I feel like I try to do an exhaustive video of something, and I probably left out something pretty important. So if I left anything out, if you have any specific questions, please comment down below. And yes, this will work for all grades. It does not have to be just kindergarten. You can use the same function, you can use the same layout, same kind of idea for any grade. It doesn't matter, it'll work. You just gotta tweak it. You gotta know your students. You have to know, okay, this kid hates computers, so try to figure out how to not have him on computers as long, or I need to start out with the green team every time because if I don't, then they'll get too noisy. Like, you'll have to figure it out, and I promise you, it will be rocky at first. It's gonna suck at first. You're gonna be like, this is stupid, it doesn't work. Keep with it, make tweaks, tinker around with stuff, tinker around with groupings, tinker around with the time limit of your actual lesson. Maybe switch up a couple things, but keep on trying, because I promise you this, just like I promised you it's gonna suck at first, I promise you that if you figure it out for your classroom and for yourself, that by teaching small group instruction in the guided reading, you will see the best results that you've ever seen in reading and math if you stick with it and find out what's best for you. So like I said, comment down below. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever, let me know. I gotta get home. Kristen's on her way home. I gotta drink my coffee. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Find your gift, share it with the world, and remember, you are worth it. See you tomorrow.